Manchester United fans, buckle up, because the mood around Old Trafford right now is a rollercoaster of excitement, belief, and real concern. Under Michael Carrick, there's a renewed sense that something is finally clicking. The football feels more intentional, the transfer strategy feels sharper, and the dressing room looks united again. But just as optimism is rising, two massive stories have dropped that could shape the rest of the season. A shock move being discussed for Iliman Ndiaye, and at the same time, a serious injury blow involving Patrick Dorgu. One brings hope, the other brings frustration, and together, they tell us exactly where Manchester United are right now, rebuilding, fighting, and refusing to stand still. Let's break it all down properly. First, let's talk about the bigger picture. Since Michael Carrick stepped into the role, there's been a noticeable shift in how United operate. This is not about flashy headlines or panic buys. It's about control, balance, and players who actually fit a system. Carrick wants energy in midfield, intelligence between the lines, and attackers who work just as hard without the ball as they do with it. That's where the name Iliman Ndiaye enters the conversation. Now, this is not a random link. Ndiaye is the kind of player that makes sense when you actually watch football, not just highlights. He's explosive in tight spaces, fearless when driving at defenders, and most importantly, he plays with hunger. The type of hunger Manchester United fans respect. What makes this move shocking isn't just the name, it's the timing and the profile. United are not chasing a superstar headline signing here. This feels like a Carrick-style move. Smart, tactical, purpose-driven, Ndiaye offers something United have lacked consistently: unpredictability. He can play centrally, drift wide, press aggressively, and link play quickly. He doesn't slow the game down. He speeds it up, and under Carrick's system, that matters. Imagine United in those tight matches where possession means nothing because there's no spark. Ndiaye thrives in chaos. He creates moments from nothing. That's exactly what fans have been crying out for: players who don't hide, players who take responsibility. This isn't about hype, it's about fit. Now, let's be clear and responsible, this is not being sold as a completed deal. There's no fake, here we go, nonsense. This is about genuine interest and internal discussion, and whether United decide to act depends on the January strategy, budget flexibility, and outgoing players. But the fact Ndiaye's name is even being discussed tells us something important: United are looking for fighters, not passengers. And fans love that. However, just as that optimism starts to build, we get hit with bad news. Patrick Dorgu. The injury update is a real blow, not just because of the player, but because of what he represents. Dorgu has been one of those emerging figures, athletic, brave, willing to learn, and ready to fight for his place. Under Carrick, players like that matter. He trusts energy. He trusts commitment. A hamstring injury is never good news, especially at this stage of the season. These injuries are tricky. They don't just heal. They require patience, careful management, and sometimes rotation changes that disrupt momentum. For United, this injury comes at a frustrating time. Carrick has been trying to build rhythm, consistency in selection, and understanding between players. Losing Dorgu limits options, especially in terms of flexibility and rotation. And this is where January suddenly becomes even more important. United now face a decision. Do they push on with what they have and trust recovery timelines? Or do they look to reinforce, knowing that injuries can pile up quickly? In the second half of the season, this is why Ndiaye's name feels connected to the Dorgu situation, even if they play different roles. One injury can change an entire transfer plan. That's how football works. Now let's talk about fan reaction, because this matters. Real fans don't just watch, they subscribe. Are you one of them? Manchester United supporters are tired of being lied to. Tired of fake news. Tired of dramatic headlines with no substance. What fans want now is honesty, direction, and effort. And under Michael Carrick, there's a sense that even when things go wrong, there's a plan. That's why the Ndiaye link excites people. Not because he's a global superstar, but because he feels right. And that's why the Dorgu injury hurts, because it interrupts progress, not just results. Carrick has been quietly laying foundations. Pressing patterns are improving. Midfield spacing looks better. Players are responding. This isn't a finished team yet, but it's finally a team with an identity. January won't be about throwing money around. It will be about solving problems. Do United need creativity? Yes. Do they need depth? Absolutely. Do they need players who understand what the badge means? More than ever. And that's where this window becomes defining. Ndiaye could be a statement of intent, not to rivals, but to fans. A signal that United are building properly, step by step. Meanwhile, how the club handles Dorgu's injury will show whether lessons have truly been learned from past seasons. Rushing players back, overloading squads, ignoring medical warnings, those mistakes can't happen again. This is the Carrick era now. Calm, calculated, brave when necessary. And Manchester United fans, they're watching closely. They don't expect miracles overnight, but they expect honesty, effort, and a team that fights until the final whistle. As this January window heats up, one thing is clear: Old Trafford is alive again with conversation, belief, and debate. Ndiaye represents possibility. Dorgu's injury represents reality, and somewhere in between is the truth of where United are right now. A club rebuilding itself, properly this time. If you're a United fan who still believes, this is the moment to stay locked in. Because the next few weeks could define the rest of the season. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for breaking football transfer updates, analysis, and exclusive content on United Pulse TV.